What is going on, YouTube? Rax here, back with another video. And we're here with another interview. This is actually my 11th interview, and this is my second boxing personality that I will be interviewing. Mainly it's boxers, but I've interviewed Ray Flores, who is a commentator slash ring announcer, and now we got Ryan O'Hara, who does a similar thing, and he does ringside reporting as well. So Ryan, how's everything going?
Everything's going well. How are you doing, man? Thank you for having me on.
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. And yeah, that's good to hear that everything's going well with you. Oh yeah, Mike will be joining in a minute. I'm not sure where Mike is right now, but he will be joining midway through. But Ryan, the main thing that the people, when I told people about, I was interviewing you, the main thing they wanted to hear about was Esports Boxing Club. Now, the game looks great graphically. The game has improved leaps and bounds. And overall, what are your thoughts on it? And what does a new boxing game, do for us, boxing fans?
I think it will generate more interest in boxing. That's what it did for me, at least. When we had Fight Night Round 3. Fight Night Round 3 was really the game that really got me, like, as a hardcore fan. But prior to that, I was just an Oscar De La Hoya fanboy. But,
Yeah.
once I got into the Fight Night series, that's when I became a hardcore fan of just about every fighter. And that's really what propelled my interest, in the sport. And I think that's, I mean, you see the same thing in NASCAR, too, when they came out with, NASCAR Thunder 2004. That's when a lot of young kids got really interested into racing because they were actually making good racing games. It's kind of fallen off the map as of late. And of course, boxing's kind of been teetering off the cliff as far as interest is concerned. Since EA's been making more UFC games, but I think that ESBC Boxing Club is going to put boxing back on the map.
Oh yeah, I believe so as well. I think, yeah, the main thing that people look at with Esports Boxing Club is, the graphics and how good they are, especially from, a small team like Steel City Interactive, the graphics are going to be the main thing that jumps out to people. And I believe I believe the cover has Canelo Alvarez on it from what I've seen. So if that is the case, then their fans are gonna also like Canelo Alvarez being on there. The former pound for pound number one king. But also if you don't have Canelo Alvarez number one, they got Usyk and they have Bud Crawford. So either way, you're gonna have the number one pound for pound in the game. The top five or three of the top five in the pound for pound. Now have you been scanned into the game?
Not yet. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. If that happens. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I know that I'm gonna. Because in my contract it talks about your likeness will be used, and
Mm-hmm.
I think social media was something that was mentioned. But then again, I think I signed a contract like 2 years ago. It's been a while. I think
Oh
it's like
wow.
October of 2020, maybe even earlier than that. I don't really remember
Wow.
at this point, but it's been a while.
So they were signing people. They were signing people before the game was really even publicized.
Yeah, because when the first time I saw the game, like I saw the inside scoop, they were just starting, so
Mhm.
it wasn't looking polished at all. And now you see what it's turned into. It's been quite an improvement.
Yeah, I hear you, Ryan. My bad, my bad. But yeah, I'm
Oh,
back.
you're good, man. No worries about it.
Yeah, I'm back, and yeah. So pretty much, yeah. So since they have been signing people, what is your role in the game? Will you be a commentator, or will you give the unofficial scorecards and stuff, or?
I honestly have no idea. I don't even know what I'm doing. Right now, I haven't really done anything. I signed a contract, but I haven't done any specifics yet.
Oh,
So I guess we'll see what happens.
Oh,
But
okay.
I know what my contract states, but I haven't done anything. My likeness, I haven't recorded anything.
Okay.
I've done a lot of recording, so I have a lot of things written down.
Mm-hmm.
You know that to get ready for certain things, but I haven't really heard anything more than that. But
Okay.
then again, you know, they spent a lot of time improving the game and, you know, adding people to the roster, you know, making fixes to bugs and whatnot, you know, things that are way important than me. So, I mean, my role in the game is probably pretty minuscule compared to everything else.
Yeah. Yep. I'd like to guess, because we do know that you are pretty active on Twitter in all sports categories, with 27K followers. I like in the UFC games, there's a social media feature where, reporters tweet about you and stuff. So I'd guess, you may do that, or, you may do a bit of commentating here and there next to Todd Grisham. So yeah, I can't wait to see you in there. Now let's switch over to some IRL fights. What are your thoughts on the fight this weekend, the undisputed lightweight championship, Devin Haney versus George Kambosos?
That's gonna be a great fight, man. I think Devin's gonna I think Devin's gonna stop him. Honestly,
Oh,
that's been my prediction ever since the fight was announced.
ooh. Do you think that the hometown advantage for Kambosos will make any change?
I mean, it could. I mean, if the fight goes to the scorecards, but I don't think it's going to go to the scorecards personally. Um, Going back to the Teofimo Lopez fight, I typically don't make quote unquote excuses for fighters, but it was obvious that Teofimo Lopez, wasn't at his best, and yet it was still close.
Yeah.
And given what Teofimo was going through going into the fight, not talking about the personal issues. I'm talking about the lung issues, the asthma issues,
Yeah.
which reportedly should have killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet Teofimo was still in the fight, which to me kind of says a lot. So I think Devin Haney is going to be a step above, or 2 steps above George Kambosos on June 4th.
Okay. Now what about the other fight that weekend? Stephen Fulton versus Daniel Roman.
I think Stephen Fulton will win that one pretty handily. Probably unanimous decision. Fulton's got some good pop. I don't think he's got the power to stop Roman, but I definitely think his boxing ability is definitely going to shine.
Yep.
That fight.
Yeah, and he's shown in his last fight against Figueroa that he can get gritty and dirty as well, or get rough fighters up. All right, so switching over to some NBA. Now Ryan, you watch NBA, correct?
Yeah, I watch the NBA. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
the Phoenix Suns are my team, and
man,
we consistently suck in the playoffs. So
yeah, that's rough, man. That's rough. Yeah, because what are your thoughts on the finals, and what do you think that the Suns will do with DeAndre Ayton?
I have no clue, man. I mean, they might trade him, they might re-sign him. I have no idea, man. My dad's from Boston, so I'm also a Boston fan, but no, I'm just gonna.
Wait, you cut out there, Ryan. You cut out there. Yo, Ryan.
I'm my dad's from Boston, so I also cheer for the Celtics.
Yeah.
But so you got Arizona and Boston, but I think that the Warriors will win it probably in 5.
Yeah, that's my prediction. Warriors in 5.
Yeah, I mean the Celtics have enough, endurance and dexterity in them to maybe push it to 6. But
yeah.
I think that's about it. They're probably going to run out of gas, towards the end.
Yeah, especially playing 2 7-game series straight in a row.
Yeah, I mean I mean, there have been teams that have prevailed despite multiple Game 7s. You go back to the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals. The Boston Bruins win 3 Game 7s going into the finals, and they still won. But then again, that's a special team, and I don't know if Boston has that in them.
Yeah. I can definitely hear you on that. And yeah, man. One more question. What are your thoughts on some of these heavyweight fights that have been announced? Involving the WBA. The Daniel Dubois versus Trevor Bryan, and Huey Fury versus Michael Hunter. I seen you retweeting it. And I'm excited for these fights. These are these fights that kind of slip under most boxing fans, eyes. Well, the casual fan, it slips under them. But I'm pretty excited for these fights. What are your thoughts on them?
Which fight? You said the Trevor Bryan one?
Yeah, Trevor Bryan versus Daniel Dubois, and Michael Hunter versus Huey Fury.
I'm not gonna lie, the Trevor Bryan Daniel Dubois fight I could care less about. Dubois is gonna win that fight pretty easily. I don't know if you saw the promotion.
Oh yeah, the promotion. Yeah, I could make something better than that, man.
It looks like something. It looks like something from the Microsoft clip art days. I mean, it looks terrible. I mean, I honestly couldn't do anything any better, but at the same time, I'm not in that field. But that looks pretty rough.
Yeah, Don. That just shows how much of a joke Don King has come to now. But what about Huey Fury versus Michael Hunter? Hunter, his last performance wasn't the best. But do you think he could get it done against Huey Fury?
Yeah, he might. I mean, it's not exactly a big fight by any means. Huey Fury is kind of a mid-tier, mid-level heavyweight.
Yeah.
If he wins this fight, it really doesn't mean anything, and if he loses, it's really bad. So obviously, it's a fight that he needs to win. But even if he wins, it's not something that's going to stick out and tell boxing fans, "Oh yeah, this guy's the real deal." Honestly, that fight doesn't really matter either.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ryan. That was Ryan O'Hara. You will see him in Esports Boxing Club. Oh yeah, one more question. Any update on the early beta for Esports Boxing Club?
That's funny, dude. I was actually going to make a video about that on YouTube, and it's having some technical issues. I mean, I don't know when it's going to be released. There's nothing specific.
Okay, all right. So
I just hope it gets released soon, like everyone else.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we could wish for. Well, thank you, Ryan. And yeah, you guys can find Ryan. You just search up Ryan O'Hara on Twitter. Ryan, do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, it's R O'Hara Sports.
R O'Hara Sports. There you guys go. Thank you, Ryan.
Hey, nice talking to you, man. Thank you again for the opportunity. Catch you later.
Catch you later.